Namaste, welcome back. I am back again to discuss more about COVID. In the yesterday, the first Facebook live session, so I discussed more about symptoms of COVID, my personal experience of recovering from the COVID, and some of the symptoms, how the basic management of COVID. Today, we'll go little detail about the symptomatology of COVID. In a brief, if you take the whole spectrum of COVID as 9 days, first 1 or 2 days, people barely feel that they have a COVID. Usually, most people say that after third or fourth day, I had this cold, fever, or a loss of taste, loss of smell. But very few people know what could be their symptom on the first day. So first day, most of the symptoms are like, I'm not feeling well, something is wrong with me, or I have too much of body pain, or I have a severe tiredness, there could be some cough, there could be some cold, and I'm not feeling appetite, I'm not able to eat. So these are the some of the non-specific symptoms most people experience on the first day of COVID infection. So the first day usually there is a confusion whether we really have a COVID or not. On second or third day, the classic symptoms of a fever, tiredness, or a cough will start. And on usually as the day progresses, the loss of smell, loss of taste, diarrhea, sometimes a conjunctivitis, all these symptoms start. So if you take the whole spectrum of COVID, one is you can divide the COVID into two categories. One is a COVID with a pneumonia, one is a COVID without a pneumonia. Remember this, 95% of the COVID doesn't have pneumonia. That means if you don't have pneumonia, matlab your COVID is mild to moderate only. Only 5% of the people develop a pneumonia and complicate it. So 95% no need to worry. Because of the lockdown, because of the media, people are so much scared that they think that all COVID is dangerous and all COVID can get complications. No, 95% of the COVID are very, very mild. They don't develop into pneumonia. Only 5% of the COVID can develop into a complications. So don't always keep on thinking about that 5% and don't lose your peace of mind. So 95% COVID are just a mild to moderate. Suppose if you take a uncomplicated COVID, that is a COVID without pneumonia, how it happens in the first 9 days. First 1 or 2 days, you barely able to recognize we have any symptoms. Sometimes you may have fever, sometimes you may not have any fever. Then the first 1 to 3 days are usually non-specific symptoms, but few people have fever. Then 3 to 5, 6 days. 3 to 5 days, 6 days is the very crucial time where a COVID can cause a tissue damage. Tissue damage in the sense that it may cause inflammation. So it may lead to a thrombotic episode like a blood clot formation. It can lead to pneumonia. So that all the parameters like a CRP, ferritin, D-dimer, LDH, all these parameters may increase. So the 3 to 6 day is the very critical time where tissue damage happens. Usually after 7 days, if the tissue damage is minimal and if there is no development of pneumonia, by 7 to 9 days, the viral replication slowly stops, and after 9 days, almost the COVID viral replicability stops. So anybody is having uncomplicated COVID, that means after 9 days, you are no more infective. Now there is a lot of stigma. If somebody develops a COVID, even if they don't have any complications or anything, people have made it a taboo. It's stigmatic. Oh, 14 days, only is official quarantine is there. Even sometime after 20 days, people think that the COVID positive person can be infective to others. Please remember this. Most of the infectivity of the COVID is not there after 9 to 10 days. So if somebody doesn't have a symptoms for last 3 days, after 10 days, he is no more infective. You can speak to them, you can be with them, and no need to lock yourself in the room. Only 5% of the cases where COVID complicates as a pneumonia. So in such cases, the infectivity and complications can continue after 10 days. So somebody is having a pneumonia in the first 7 days. So the pneumonia complication and infectivity can last up to 2-3 weeks also. But if you don't develop a pneumonia, that means you are having a very mild to moderate COVID, then you are not infective after 10 days. So remember this, don't outcast people, don't scare to speak to people. So even if you're walking outside, if somebody you see COVID positive, even after 15 days, 16 days, people think that, oh, he is COVID positive, don't go near. All these things are hyper exaggerated. That is not necessary. Because as I said, 95% people are mild to moderate COVID and most of them are not infective after 9 to 10 days. So if you are uncomplicated COVID, the COVID spectrum symptoms is only 9 to 10 days. First 3 days is initiation of symptoms, 3 to 6 days is a tissue damage by a COVID, and 7 to 9 days slowly viral replication stops and COVID disappears. So you're not infective after 10 days. So this is about the spectrum. Suppose somebody develop a pneumonia, develop some thrombotic episodes. In such cases, the symptom can go up to 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes post-COVID, COVID fever can go up to 40 days. And loss of taste, loss of smell, sometimes diarrhea can also go up to 3 to 4 weeks. They are called post-COVID symptoms and they are not a part of COVID. So with this brief about a COVID symptomology, I will answer few questions. A question by Ashish Pandey is asking, I am having blocked nose from 10 days, no other symptoms, should I need corona test? So blocked nose can be a symptom of a simple allergy. Since you don't have a fever, there is no need to test for a corona. In case if your surrounding people or a family members have anybody is having a corona positive, then even a blocked nose can be an indication for testing. Harshita, you want to ask any questions, you can ask me. I will brought you on the camera. Then one more question is from Mandira Anand, is COVID truly airborne? As per the recent update from WHO, it is airborne. Whether it is truly or falsely, we don't know, because every day the concepts are changing. The quarantine times, the disease thing, the knowledge about the disease is changing. As of now, think that COVID is airborne as per WHO. A question from Nagaraj. Home quarantine preparation for 55 years age, and also is there any medication required when the patient is no symptoms? So the patient is no symptoms, very mild symptoms. The quarantine at home is required only for a 10 to 12 days. So up to 14 days can be quarantined, but after 10 days, they are no more infective to others. You can freely mix with them, not to worry. Question from Sandy. So the difference between allergy, sinus will be a fever with a COVID. So allergy, sinus with fever can be a COVID, but without fever it's only sinus and all, may not be because of COVID. What are the chances of COVID recurring, and is it more severe than the first time? So chance of COVID recurrence is very less, maybe less than 10%. And usually once the primary infection, there is an antibody formation. So the second recurrence of symptom may not be having as severe as the first one. So question from Neha Pandey. My husband came in contact with the infected person for the 5 minutes with a mask 10 days ago. Should we worry? So we need not worry, because for the two reasons. One is already 10 days over. So usually after the contact with a infected person, the infection starts after 4 to 6 days. In this case, already 10 days over. Second thing is the contact time is 5 minutes. Remember this, to minimum contact time to get a COVID transmission is anywhere between 50 to 30 minutes. They say 30 minutes, but at least 15 minutes. Just a 5 minutes contact with any COVID positive person with maintaining social distancing and all doesn't transmit disease. So nothing to worry in your case. Question from Nimmi. If a vaccine is developed in the near future, is it necessary for everyone to take it, or only people who are suffering from COVID-19? Vaccine is not for the people who are suffering. Vaccine is only for the prevention. If somebody is suffering from COVID, cannot be taken vaccine. So if the vaccine develops within 6 months, people who are not suffered from COVID should take vaccine. People who are already suffered from COVID, they developed antibodies. It is as good as like vaccinated. For example, I recovered from the COVID. It is like I'm partly vaccinated. I have antibodies against COVID. People who are not infected should get a vaccine to develop antibodies. A question from Prince. If it's airborne, then death rate should be double Nasser. Actually, need not. Whether COVID come from primary contact from person to person or airborne, so the manifestations of COVID remain same. Only thing is, maybe if it is too much airborne, like in community spread, the doubling rate will increase. Definitely it is there, but it is still in the initial stages. It's only the recent update that it is airborne. A question from Ashok Kumar. Ginger, pepper, honey and turmeric will help in preventing the COVID attack, as we receive these forward messages. See, all these ginger, pepper, honey, turmeric are super herbs. They have anti-infective properties, they have anti-inflammatory properties. They cannot guarantee you to get infection. But if you get infection, there could be a chance that the duration of symptom severity may decrease. But there is no 100% authentic data to support all these things. These are all definitely helpful, healthy herbs. You can use it, no problem. Question from Namita. I have a diabetes and hypertension, and I have a mild fever, headache, body pain since morning. Are these pointing to COVID symptoms? One is, if anybody in the family is already having a COVID, then even a 1 day symptom of fever, headache and body pain, I suggest to get tested for the COVID. If nobody else in the family is affected, I think you can wait 1 more day, observe your symptoms, observe 24 to 48 hours. If the fever, headache and body pain persist, I suggest get a COVID test done. Question from Shobha Krishnan. Does every COVID positive case require antiviral medication? No. If somebody is having a very mild symptoms, they don't need anything except for some symptomatic medicine and a rest. Question from Netra. Cold and nose block from today. Should I go for a COVID test? Cold and nose block may be a symptom of allergy. doesn't clearly indicates a COVID. Along with this cold and nose block, if you develop a fever, loose motion, or a loss of taste or smell, then I suggest you to go for a COVID test. Otherwise, you can wait. Question from Hemalata: what steps should be followed by a family for a home quarantine person? One is for a home quarantine persons, they make them to live in a separate room and ask them to use a N95 mask, and whenever they are speaking to others in the family, they should use a mask always, and take all the isolation measures in the bathroom, and whoever at the family members who are not quarantined also, when you're speaking to them, use a mask. Question from Krishna Prasad: COVID damages body parts. Is it true? If yes, whether it's reversible or a permanent? Yes. When the COVID becomes complicated, it damages body parts. Like for example, like pneumonia is nothing but a damaging of lung by a COVID. Similarly, it can cause a blood clots in the brain, in the lungs, or some other part of the body. It damages. Once the body part is damaged, the recovery takes its own time. Many times, to recovery of the damaged parts or the tissue damage will take 3 to 6 weeks. Question from Akshata: as a precaution, should I keep oxygen cylinder at home? Not required. Suppose if you have mild to moderate symptoms, if you have any asthma, if you develop a COVID, if you are under home quarantine, then under a proper advice and a supervision, you can use oxygen cylinder or a concentrator. Otherwise, regularly keep only thermometer and a pulse oximeter to check your saturation. No need to keep a oxygen cylinder. So COVID is more than a disease. It is a psychological and a social stigma. So people are more scared about COVID. So after the lockdown, people keep seeing the TVs and get more and more information about the COVID. Mostly the tendency of the mind is always to think negative. So mind always catch up the negative things. If somebody has died of a COVID, everyone can have the same things and all. No. Remember always, 95% of COVIDs are very much mild or uncomplicated. Only 5% COVID are complicated. Even the 5% who are complicated, most of them will recover. So no need to worry. There is a high chance of recovery from the COVID. If you don't have a COVID, it's good. Even if you have a COVID, think that what has happened is happened. It happened for the good. At least you have some developed antibodies, and you can have some immunity for a few months against COVID. So COVID is not going to disappear immediately. It is going to stay in this community. So don't leave the fear about COVID. If you leave a fear about COVID, your immunity improves by 50%. If you have a fear about COVID, your immunity drops. So a question from Netra: should a COVID positive and after quarantine the patient should get again COVID test done? This is an important question. For an uncomplicated COVID, so in a 10 days, after 3 days, if there is no symptoms, no need to get a COVID test again. But people who have complicated COVID like a pneumonia, who are admitted in hospital ICU and all, for them a repeat COVID testing may be required. Otherwise, for a mild to moderate COVID testing, if there is no symptoms or most of the symptoms disappear by 10 days, then no need to test again. Children above 16 years having allergic rhinitis, will they be vulnerable? Will it get complicated? So children above 16 years are like adults only. So allergic rhinitis, like there's nothing like specifically they're vulnerable. So, but anybody can get COVID like allergic rhinitis. There is no specific vulnerability. A question from Shilpa: so loose stools can only be a COVID symptoms. Sometime yes. There are few people doesn't have any other symptom. They have only loose stools. It can be a mild COVID. So question from Hemalata, hearing lot of things about post-COVID effects like stroke, nervous disorders, Alzheimer, etc. Is that true? Yes, some very few, less than 1% of the people with a COVID can get into complications. They can develop into all these blood clots, nervous disorders and other things, and even this encephalitis and other things. That is very rare. So life is very mysterious. If you take any disease, there are complications. Even a normal viral infection can become a brain fever and lead to complications. Don't think of the rarest of the rare possible complications which happen to very few people. Be positive. Most of the cases, COVID doesn't cause any problem. Is chloroquine helpful or not? So there are some evidences of benefit of COVID, and it is used as an antiviral and for the COVID mild to moderate cases. Please suggest some good better brand of pulse oximeter which gives accurate readings, because heard that some brands don't give proper readings. For a routine monitoring at home, any brand is okay. You can get a reviews in a Google or Amazon and buy it. I personally doesn't recommend any brands, and since it is at a home setting, any normal regular brand is okay. Don't worry about that brand, because let it serve the purpose. You just know your saturation is between 92 to 96. So don't worry about the brand. You can buy any brand. Can you please share your recovery journey? Post recovery, what are the things particularly need to follow? So as I said yesterday, my first day I felt very weird, uneasiness, tiredness. From the second day onwards, I developed a mild feverishness and lot of tiredness continue. I didn't had any cough or a cold, but on third or fourth day, I started developing a loss of taste and loss of smell, and I could hardly able to eat. The only thing I could able to taste well is the curd. Rest everything was like a bitter sensations. So this lasted up to 6 weeks. From second day to almost 6 to 7 days, I was hospitalized. So thinking that I should not transmit infection to my family members, and also that I have a lot of tiredness and to want to get some X-ray and blood test done. But with this purpose, I was hospitalized. And on later, my wife also came positive. So on seventh day, I shifted back home. Both me and my wife at home only took rest, taken the medication which was started, antiviral medication we started, some symptomatic medicine, exposed to a good sunlight, good air, taking rest, sleeping. So after 9 days, I almost felt better, except the tiredness. So the tiredness persisted up to 12th day. So 13th day onwards, when my tiredness also decreased. So today I am in a 16th, 7th day, 17th day. So almost my 90% I am okay, and even I started working also. So this is my brief about my case. You can consider it's a mild to moderate COVID, and my wife had still milder symptoms than me. She doesn't have the tiredness which I had experienced, but she also had taken this one, and now she is also okay. Even my son, who is 2.5-year-old, he also developed. He was not with us. We left him to our parent house in Tumkur just 2 days back. But after 4 days, there he developed fever. But fever lasted only for 2-3 days, and he also recovered. So this is about this one. And after recovery, I am specifically not following anything special. So I am just regularly taking one multivitamin tablets. So every day I will take a turmeric milk with some ginger and a garlic as a routine measure. It's even for anything, it's okay. So nothing specific, and I will take all the precautions when I come home, hand washing, using a mask and other things. At home, nothing specific. So eat healthy food, mostly have a good protein diet, avoid refined carbohydrates, especially inflammatory foods, and general lifestyle. Still, I'm not started on exercise because many people in our apartment are still scared, so that I'm not going to the common areas and all. Still, I'm maintaining isolation. Otherwise, I'm doing my regular work. I'm started working in hospital from today. A question from Neha. We're hearing that virus is getting weak now. Is this true? No, no. There is nothing like a virus is getting weak or strong. There could be a change of strain from place to place. Once the virus spreads commonly in the community, what we call herd immunity, then the chances of complications are less. So virus, the infectivity, virulence will decrease. But as of now, we are still in the rise of the peak. I don't think virus is weak now. How can a COVID patient get to know he is getting better day by day? It's all depend on the symptoms. Suppose you had initially had a fever, your fever stopped, initially had a tiredness, your tiredness decreased, and you had a loss of smell or taste, then slowly the taste of smell and recovering. These are when the symptoms become less, that means you are going towards a recovery and you feel that some energy is lost and regaining that energy. Which is the closest testing center? Will the lab person come home for testing? So there are, depending on the areas, there are many testing center. I think you can get the information through online also, and you can get any major hospitals are doing it right now. Some people are doing testing at home, but I suggest preferably go to the centers and get it test done, because the person who are coming for the testing also should have a PPE. Should come with a PPE and test it at, and if he is not wearing the PPE, he could be a transmitting person to others at home. Question from Ashok Kumar. When we know this is not a complicated virus, why medicine is not found when we are so much of advance in medical and technology? Ashok, this is a question, important question. As such, there is no medicine for any virus in the world. Some of the antiviral drugs are only assisting in healing. Actually, just like a typhoid, malaria and all, there is a specific medicines are there. Unlike so, for the viral infection, there is no specific, whether it's a COVID or a corona or a normal flu, there is no antiviral medications. So it's unfortunate, in spite of advanced technology, we don't have any specific medicine for the viral infections. So question from Suparna. Once the COVID recovered patient can be infected again, the chances are very less, maybe up to 6 months, because once a person is COVID infected, he develops an antibodies. So the chance of reinfection is less. But there are evidences across the world. Some 10% people have got reinfected and most of them are not severe. So question from Rupali. Sanitizer or a hand wash, which is better for a sanitation? So any normal soap, sanitizer, hand wash is enough. There is nothing specific. Again, don't go for a particular brand or anything. Even a normal soap water washing also more than enough. Suggest multivitamin tablet and vitamin C tablet, please. There are n number of brands. You can take any multivitamin tablet. It has no specific role in protecting against COVID. And vitamin C as such is there in many fruits and vegetables. So I don't suggest particularly take it, but there are vitamin C chewable tablet like Limc, you can use it. Question from Ravi Kumar. Food diet for a COVID patient to be followed. One is, in my experience, and many people, they won't feel that hungry. There is a loss of taste and smell. When there is a loss of taste and smell, obviously whatever the food you eat, it won't taste better for you. But for the better recovery of the COVID, it is better to have a high protein diet. Avoid inflammatory foods like anything made up of a white flour, white rice, rava, maida, breads and other things. Eat a good amount of proteins like maybe a paneer, chana, broccoli, and any protein foods is okay. Even the regular intake of eggs, yogurt, all good protein food is recommended for a COVID patients. Question from Setu Raman. Hi doctor, is hospitalization really required for a mild to moderate COVID patient? Is it possible to recover without hospitalization and without medication? There are many people who have recovered without hospitalization and they recovered by themselves. Suppose if you have a mild to moderate symptoms, to assess the severity, or if your symptoms are more like too much of tiredness and any comorbid medication, then only the hospitalization is required. Otherwise, hospitalization is not required for most of the patients. 80% of the patient, I think, can recover at home only. Question from Archana: is there any side effects after having medication of coronavirus? Actually, the coronavirus medication somehow have side effects, but not of much significant. Question from Soumya: can we give a Limsi for a 10 and 17-year-old? If what's the dosage? So Limsi comes as a chewable tablet. You can use 1 or 2 tablets. Even 10-year also can use, 17-year also can use. And for them, it's compulsorily not required because most of the fruits and vegetables also contain vitamin C. Question from Chandra Rampuria: what are the testing protocol nowadays? Can it be done at home by requesting a private lab agency? So there are few people I have seen them on the online. They are giving a home testing also. So the testing protocol is simple. Like there are you have to go to the center, and they will take a swab from the nose as well as the throat. And now the results are getting delayed. Most of the labs are giving results after 2 days, and this is one of the cause for more infectivity. Once they give testing, people may not maintain isolations. Once they become positive, then there is a pressure to maintain isolation. So I suggest to go for a testing the particular ICMR approved labs and give a testing there. And if you're really weak enough not to go there, you can ask for a testing. There are some few labs are offering even home testing also. So draw some light on pregnant lady positive cases. As such, women are very mild with the COVID. The women, compared to the men, the symptoms of COVID are very mild in a woman and also in the pregnant woman. So there is the complications chances of COVID in pregnant women is very less. But what are the complications in a baby after delivery is not completely known, yet to see. So role of MMR vaccine in today's situation. There are some evidences to show that MMR vaccine is good enough. So if you have, most of them are taken, or if you have taken a booster dose, you can take it. So nothing wrong in it. So I think today I had discussed about symptomatology of COVID. So I'll again repeat some of the things. If the COVID is not complicated, the complete COVID infectivity get over by 9 to 10 days. After 9 days, you are not infective. Any complications mostly happen between 3 to 7 days. After 7 days, if you're okay, most likely nothing will happen later also. Suppose if you develop any tissue damage or a pneumonia within 3 to 7 days, then that complication of that will continue for up to 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes even a fever in a COVID can continue up to 2 months. So this is about this. 95% people will recover completely within 10 days. Only 5% people develop a pneumonia and some other complications, and they will get hospitalized in ICU or a hospital, and they continue for a longer time. So this is about the brief about COVID symptomatology. I answered most of your questions, and in the next coming session, I will specifically deal with a COVID and a diabetes, because many people are scared like how a diabetic can cope with a COVID, what precautions to be taken, what is the blood sugar to be maintained and all. In the next session, I will discuss about a COVID and diabetes. So I think I answered most of the questions. If any questions, text here. And this is for the benefit of the public. My intention is to remove the fear among the people and share this video so that people get more and more educated. COVID will remain with us for 1 or 2 years. So we have to live with the COVID, and we must know more and more about COVID so that once the fear has gone, your immunity will become good. So thanks for now. Good night all. We'll catch again with the next session. I'll update in my Facebook with specifically about a COVID and diabetes. Good night.